Yo, yo, we live? Okay, we are live. Cool. Yo, it's been a minute since I did this. Hold on, let me check the quality right quick. Hold up. Wait a minute. There we go. It's a little bit better. It's been a minute since I did this. Happy to be back on the literal cusp of TBC launching. Well, pre-patch that is, not TBC. Um, and I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be back. And there's a lot to talk about. I've been gone for a little bit, so obviously channel directives need to be talked about. I need to talk about TBC coming, what my plans are for the horizon. Midnight is not some ways, but a little further out than TBC, so we're going to talk about that. A lot of things going on, a lot of things to discuss, but like I said, overall, I'm just happy to be back, happy to be making content, happy to be back on my channel, just immersing myself in the YouTube WoW Warcraft space, because Lord knows it's been a journey. It's been a minute. So a lot of this is just going to be mindless yap, probably some dungeon gameplay, if you fancy that, and talking about tank stuff and looking at all that cool shit. But where to start? So I guess to start is what I'm doing back on TBC or the anniversary realms, because I was playing Mop. That was like my last channel upload for sure. And then I was playing Mop. Mop kind of died out. Then I started playing Retail War Within. Did that for a little bit. Played throughout the key season. That kind of ran its course. I didn't really touch Legion Remix. It really wasn't my cup of tea. I probably should have for the transmogs and stuff like that, but I really didn't care, to be quite honest with you. So Legion Remix really didn't really have any interest for me. But I always kind of wanted to return to vanilla, especially vanilla, because vanilla just always seems to escape me, no matter what version. 2019, SOD, Season of Mastery. What else? Classic Anniversary, Season of Discovery. You know, Season of Discovery is kind of like the only vanilla style of WoW that I played through. The other four that I just mentioned, it's kind of always missed me. I always either made it to Molten Core and stopped before Black Moon Lair came out, tried to jump back in when AQ came out, and it just never really went anywhere. So I tried a little bit of doing that this go around the anniversary, and honestly, that didn't go nowhere neither. I jumped on and I kind of just farmed to rank 14. I was in all the BGs doing that, and got my rank 14, and I was like, okay, now what next? And TBC really wasn't in my view. Like, I was looking straight into Midnight. I played a lot of the beta. I was testing a lot on the beta for Midnight. My plan is still to be a healer on Midnight. I think for all the things we've heard about Midnight and the changes and stuff like that and the pruning, I think Mistweaver probably was like one of the more fun specs that I played on the beta. I haven't played for some time, so I don't know if they kept it the same, but for when I was playing, it was really, really fun. And I'll do some more research before Midnight actually releases, and we'll see if Mistweaver is still the pick. But I love Midnight, doing all those dungeons as Mistweaver. It was really fun. So I guess what I'm saying in that is my plans now really are to kind of treat TBC as my rating fix, and then still do Mythic Plus, because you can do both. You can do both. Mythic Plus has the benefit of being able to jump in and kind of do it whenever you want, and TBC has the benefit of once you start strong, you kind of are always strong, unless you're like too far removed. Like, as an example, if you start in phase 1, you raid to the end of phase 1, and you skip phase 2, and then you come back for Black Temple, you can, yes, there's a power gap, but not as large as you think. Not as large as you think. Whereas you can't do that in retail at all. You can't raid Neurobar Palace, not raid, what was the next one? Undermine. Like, raid Neurobar Palace, not raid Undermine, and then go into Demencius. Like, that's not going to fly. Oh, what up, Cap? What up, Cap? Back on the stream. Just me yapping about TBC and tank stuff, but but yeah, that's kind of my plan. So TBC will help my rating fix, whereas the not the War Within, but Midnight will help my Mythic Plus fix slash what am I doing outside of rating in TBC? Because that does become a point. Unless you're an alcoholic, there is a point where if you're only playing like one tune in TBC, you're like, all right, and you're a consistent rater, there's really not much to do. So I know I'm gonna need something else to do on the side. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. That being said, I think my class of choice is a Druid. I played Druid in 2021 TBC, and it was very, very fun, and I'm looking to recreate that moment. But I'm going in it with a bit of a different mindset. See, I'm going in with the mindset of I'm going to main my Druid, but I'm definitely going to have my Paladin and my Warrior leveled and being those side characters for when my Druid is saved to a lockout and I want to jump into a pug, or I just don't feel like doing keys. I want to jump onto something, but I can't do anything on my Druid. That's what the Paladin and the Warrior are going to be there for. Fortunately for me, I already have a Warrior at level 60, and I'm just going to boost the Paladin now that they said that you can boost Blood Elves and Draenei. So yeah, we boosting Paladins straight like that. I'm not leveling from 1 to 60, even though you do have enough time. For those who don't know, if you watched us on the rewind, Burning Crusade does not launch until February 5th, which I believe is a global release because that is a Thursday. So it comes out February 5th at 6 p.m. my time, which is 3 p.m. on the West Coast. So it'll be right after I get out. Oh, I'm sorry. Right after I get out of work, because I'll be home before the servers go up. So it's perfect. I can't wait. There's a lot of hype around it. A lot of things going on. This time though, in my plans for like a guild, like it's hard. Like it's hard to find a guild if you haven't, especially as a tank. It's hard to find a guild as a tank if you haven't played throughout that current expansion or that current game. I did not play throughout vanilla outside of pugging BGs, so my time finding a solid tank spot is near impossible, but I'm gonna keep trucking along. I'll probably just pug my own Karas and my own Gruuls and my own Mags until something happens, but it's kind of where we're at with that. So keep that in mind. But I still plan on making like the tank content and stuff like that because that's what I love. I love to do that. So I can't wait. Speaking of which, let me see if I can move this over here. 1 second. Sorry, just got a little notification. I had to look into it real quick. Speaking of, let me see. So I planned on releasing these as separate videos, but, well, I am. That's still the plan. It's not changing. I'm going to be releasing the Druid, the Warrior, and the Paladin Burning Crusade talent build setup videos, kind of like what I did in Wrath, where I released all the tanks, all the healers, and I think I did like 2 or 3 DPS. I don't think I'm going to do the DPS specs this go around for TBC. I think I'm just going to stick to the tanks and the healers because those are the ones that I know best, and we'll continue from there. But there's a wait a second now. There's a Druid in that group. And they're doing Strat Live. I don't want to do Strat Live. I want to do Strat Dead. Sorry, I'm still on the hunt for this stupid idol that escapes me every time I go to Strat Undead. So that's unfortunate. But yes, indeed. I what was I saying? Oh yeah, the videos. So I plan on releasing talent build videos. Let me see if I can just drag these over. Ooh, there we go. And we can see, I didn't even plug these talent points in. So let me do that real quick. So if I do this, so just to show the people what it'll be like. What it will be like. There. 5 that, 3 that, 5 that, 3 that, 1 that. Easy. It's going to be like that. I'm going to build the talent build out. I'm going to go through every single talent, each tier. So this is tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Even the ones that are great, I'm going to go over them, try to discuss use cases for them if there is one. And really eliminate the confusion. And then if there's other builds that the class uses, we'll talk about it. Um, Druid doesn't really use, if you want a crash course, Druid doesn't really use too many other builds. It's weird because like Druid is like the most fluid and flexible when it comes to their roles, but their talent builds are kind of stringent. Like for a Druid tank, the most you'll probably want to switch out is you switch out intensity and improve leader of the pack to get 5 out of 5 feral aggression. That's really like the main thing. If this is for if you don't have a warrior who's already doing improved demo shout, that's what that talent's for. But that's really like it. Like Druid is kind of like set in stone. But that's I guess because the feral combat tree is a physical DPS and a tank spec in one tree. It's not two separate trees like it will become later on. But I guess that's why. But if you look at like, let me see if I can pull the warrior tree over. Right, pull the warrior tree over. The warrior, I didn't even build this one out, but the warrior has a lot of flexibility. Like a standard warrior setup would be like this, and before I even go down, you probably won't run anticipation once you hit defensive cap or have an overabundance of gear swaps to clear this, so you can save these talent points. But like standard warriors like that, like this, 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 that, that, and then that. That's standard warrior. They can also, like I said, they can drop anticipation and get improved blood rage, or if they're doing a lot of stance dancing, tactical mastery. If you have no DPS warrior, they can drop things like shield mastery and get improved demo shout, or drop things like shield mastery and deep wounds and anger management and get improved demo shout. If you want more damage because you have a lot of DPS gear to swap into, and you want more damage, more threat, you can drop cruelty and go into impale. Right, you can do that, but that is, I think you have to have like 20% crit baseline with no buffs before you can even do that. It might be, it might be a little lower. It might be like 18, 19, but around that you have to have already a high amount of crit for this to even be a thing. So, but you see how flexible this is? Like you can do that. You can drop impale and max deep wounds to get improved defensive stance, right? They reduce your spell damage taken by 6%. This is really good for when you're like tanking. If you're on the Fires of Azeroth but on the Fires of Azeroth part in Illidan, right? If you're not tanking Illidan, which you're probably gonna have a warrior tanking Illidan, but anyway, if your job is to tank the elemental, this is a really good talent for that because they don't do anything but fire damage. Same thing with Hydros in Serpentron Cavern, does just magic damage. So this is a good talent to help reduce that magic damage taken. So a lot of things for warrior. And then we reach, hold on, let me move these back into place because we need some space for the next one. Did something happen? Or that I'm getting a glow? Did somebody whisper me? Let me see. Nope. No one said anything. Let me see if anyone's doing a service gate before I continue my talk. All right, nope. And then you have Paladin. Paladin, which we can just move this whole thing over. Shrink this down. Move this whole thing over. And talk about the many builds of Paladin. So Paladin has like the most flexibility in my opinion when it comes to their talent builds or what they can take. Right now you're looking at kind of like a standard build. This is like the standard protection build. Goes all the way down the tree, picks up kings, picks up the stamina talents, right? Sacred duty and combat expertise, picks up Avenger shield. And then the red side, you just go up into Crusade. You stop at Crusade, you get the extra 3% to all humanoids, demons, undead, elementals, right? There are other talent builds where you can go all the ways down as Vengeance, right? You can get Vengeance, but it comes at a pretty big sacrifice in my opinion. But another common build for Paladin like is you dropping, like, if I can do this, you can drop, hold on. What did I do with it? Hold on one second. that. 20 points. I need one more point. Vengeance. And then. Where are you? You can get like Sanctity. You can get Sanctity Aura. That's one thing. That's another common thing Paladins can do, just to buff all the rep boys in themselves. That's one thing that they definitely are known to do. Another thing is you can get improved Sanctity if you drop some of your stamina talents, right? You can get that. You still have 3 out of 5 combat. And you still have all of your Sacred Duty. If you want to go all the way down and get Vengeance, you have to drop a lot. You have to drop all of combat expertise. You have to drop improved Holy Shield. You have to drop Sacred Duty, and then you can get Conviction and this. And you have to drop improved Judgment. That's how you max it out. This is like tough because you have 30 points in ret and then 31 in proc. This is really, really tough to pull off unless you are really skilled at Prot Paladin or you have just the gear, and you have the gear to back it up, because you lose a lot of stamina and a lot of defensive power playing this, and you don't have Avenger Shield, which may not always be mandatory, but it just feels wrong in my opinion. So this is a tough build to kind of pull off, but Paladins can mix and match, right? They can do this, and that's not even talking about them going into the Holy Tree and picking up Divine Strength and going down to get Aura Mastery and stuff like that. Like, they can do all that stuff too. But yeah, Paladins I think have the most talent flexibility, which is weird, but also pans out because they're also a hybrid class, right? They can do each role, damage, tank, and heal. So yeah, Druids kind of get the short end of the stick when it comes to that much flexibility as a tank. Let me move this up. Maximize this, refresh this. Sheesh, am I gonna have to start my own? I really don't want to. I was hoping to just jump into a dungeon and kind of tank it. I really don't want to have to start my group, but you know what you gotta do? You gotta do some stuff. You gotta pound the pavement to get some stuff done. So I might just start my own group. Let's see what's in the queue. There's one DPS, and he wants to do live side. I don't want to do live side. I just want to do dead side, which may or may not happen. But yeah, that's the plan for at least the start of TBC. Releasing all 3 talent build videos for each tank, and releasing a comparison video on what the best tank for TBC is. Spoiler alert, it's probably Druid. That could change though, because dual spec does add a lot of power to the other tanks, right? Like, dual spec to me doesn't really do much for Druid tanking, because Druids already can just press cat form and they're basically 85% of DPS as long as they have the right talents. So, and they don't lose really much defensive power by doing that. So they don't really gain much from dual specking unless you're just doing something completely different, right? Unless you're actually like a backup healer, or you're, for some reason, you got like a whole boomkin set tucked and you're a backup range DPS. For me, my off spec's probably gonna be my PvP spec, because I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time PvP and getting the PvP gear, because a lot of it is either BIS, near BIS, equivalent to BIS in phase 1. So that's probably gonna be my off spec. But the other tanks seem to benefit more, in my opinion, on off spec, especially Paladin. So the best tank isn't just the one who can pull the most threat or who can do the most damage. The best tank is often a combination of different factors. Who can do all of those things and still benefit the group, right? And Paladin seems to be edging that. We'll see though, because I think as it stands, Kara, Gruul, Magtheridon, all of those raids are releasing as their post nerf, which means things are going to be really, really, really easy on the come up. But if TK and SSC release on their pre-nerf state, that's when you see things start to slow down. I always said that, well, not always said that, but in my video, my draft, I think I had mentioned that in 2021 TBC, I think Druids were the de facto best tank once you look at the whole entirety of it. But each tank has its niche. Warriors are really good on progression because they're really the only tanks who have, to me, the smoothest damage intake, and the only tanks with tank CDs. The other 2 tanks don't really have tank CDs. So in the clutch, like if a boss hits in rage, you press shield wall, you're still taking, what is it, in in TBC. Is it 60% or is it 75 still? It might be 75 still, but I think it's 60%. But you're still taking a large amount of damage. You're reducing a large amount of damage taken. No other tank can do that for like 10 seconds flat, 12 or 14 if you take the improved talent. No other tank can do that. 14 seconds of 60. Let's just say it's 60. 14 seconds of 60% reduced damage can be a kill. On top of the fact that they still use things like Nightmare Seed, Iron Shield potions, health pots. Like they can still use all of those things. The things that druids kind of rely on to make up for the lack of CDs, druids and paladins. So in the clutch, in a progression side, if your guild is struggling, if your healers are struggling, it's probably better to have a warrior as your main tank. On the threat side, on the speedrunner side, druids are probably that. I think the gap really widens for druids from the other two tanks. Once you start to hit, I would probably say, end of phase 2, the end of TK going into Black Temple, because even though that's when you see a lot of armor pen gear, doesn't really do anything for prot warriors or prot paladins. That's when you see a lot of avoidance. A lot of druids having a lot of avoidance. Like as an example, 2021 TBC, I was able to tank Gurtok Blood Boil and reset my own stacks because I had such high avoidance. So I think his stacks never reached past like 8 if I was rotating my trinkets and just my natural avoidance was happening. So druids from that point on just become so powerful. Like phase 2 and 3 is like the druid time. TK, SSC, Black Temple, Hajjal is meant for druids. Sunwell comes out and then things kind of even out because Sunwell has that debuff where everyone takes all enemies have a 5% increased chance to hit you, and your dodge gets reduced by 20% flat, like not rating but flat. So that does a real big blow to druids. They're still really, really good on the threat side and the damage side, but their avoidance is gone and they're getting hit more often, which means more crushing blows, which can also stress out your healer. So that's when I think tanks become on a more even playing field, which I give the edge more so to paladins and warriors because they can block crushing blows, or they can stop crushing blows, not block them. A crushing blow can't be blocked, can be a blocked hit. So I think that's where the tanks really start to kind of come closer together, especially for paladins, because everything in there is demons. Even though Black Temple, most of the stuff is demons too. So paladins just have a good time at TBC. Like paladins are just having a good time. They're not bad. They're not the greatest in every single role, but they definitely have their niches and they're pretty solid outside of their niches. So, but yeah, I'm gonna do a tank comparison video where it's like, these are the 3 tanks. This is what I think. This is what's going on. I really can't believe that there's no Strathhome. Like, I just don't want to do live. Live is so lame. And this person's doing Ezra Grim. Like, I just want to go in there, see if my boy has the idol, and leave. And I don't see any other. That one, that's the same guy I looked at before. He still wants to do live side. So yeah. Oh, Zandalar is about to drop in 50 seconds. I don't know if I can get there in 50. Yeah, no, I can't. Not 50 seconds. That's too short. Let me go repair though. I don't think I can repair in there. I can repair in here though. There we go. So I've been slowly working on my TBC prep. I dropped my herbalism for engineering, and I picked up if I have it in my bags, I don't. I picked up the recipe for the Arcane Bomb. Arcane Bomb is going to be pretty important in my opinion. So I did pick up some stuff to help me prepare. I hit rank 14, got all my PvP gear. So I'm going to be pretty strong on the leveling side, even though I think I'm probably not going to hit the quests up when TBC launches. I'm not going to hit the quests up. I'm going to go straight into a dungeon, because I think TBC is going to be as popular as it is, it's going to be really difficult to quest with a whole bunch of people out there. So I'm going straight into a dungeon, and we're going to Hellfire Ramparts is going to be my best friend for a little bit, and then once things die down, we jump in and we do what we got to do. But I've definitely planned on taking off that day. February 5th is a Thursday, so I'm taking off that Friday. So I'll have Friday, Saturday, Sunday free. I already notified family like, hey, don't be looking for me these 3 days because it ain't happening. This is what it is. So it's gonna be a good time. Gonna be a good time. Might jump in the Discord with the gang in them while I'm doing the stream, looking for a undead side strath, which I can't seem to find. I'm sad. I low-key might just start my own group. Like, this is kind of getting nuts. Okay, let's see. What's in the queue? We have a rogue. He wants to do a BRD lava skip. So why you sign up for all those dungeons? Silly. This warrior signed up for 7 dungeons. Jesus Christ. We have another warrior signed up for 3. Just put a spec. He's fury. It's fine, I guess. So the Reaper, he's 58, so he's probably be doing a lot of missing. What else? We got a warlock who just signed up for all the endgame dungeons. Mage gaming to game, respect it. Nothing in the trade either. Nothing happening in trade. I don't have any sound on. Let me see. All that yapping I was doing, I do have sound. Let me see. What's my system default? Is it coming? Nope, it's not coming through my headphones. Normally I don't really play with too much sound. But yeah. For this one we can play some sound. Still nothing. But back to the TBC talk. I think this TBC is going to be pretty solid. I have a somewhat solid plan in place. I kind of have an idea what I'm going to be doing phase 1, and you know what they say, preparation is a prerequisite for success. So as long as you're prepared, word to Illidan, you are not prepared. He said it right, but I am prepared. So as long as you're prepared, everything's going to be all right. I still don't see a Strath Undead group going, which is lame. Lame. Refresh one more time, and then if not, then I'll probably just log and do something else. I do have work tomorrow. I gotta stop pretending like tomorrow's not Monday and I don't have a full week ahead of me. It's gonna be okay because tomorrow I'm gonna come home and the servers are gonna be down for 24 hours, and I gotta figure out what I'm gonna be doing with myself. Probably retail. Probably doing some end of the season nonsense keys, or maybe jumping on the beta or the PTR or something, see if people are on there. Actually, TBC PTR servers might be going down too. I don't know. So we will see there. Yeah, I think that's the move. I think I'm going to take the word of the group, the word of my realm, because there's nothing really going on, and prepare myself for tomorrow. It was a very fun time streaming again. I know this is like 30 minutes. It wasn't even that long of a stream, but just getting my plans out there, speaking, getting on stream, doing it, actually just sitting down and fucking doing it. Felt really good. So I can't wait for TBC. Pre-patch, I'm still gonna be doing all my prep stuff. Probably gonna be streaming a lot of that, recording that, putting the guide videos out. So yeah, I got a busy schedule ahead of me. Cap, as always, is always good to see you. One day you'll come back. One day we'll get you back. But as always, you guys have been great. I've been Soul and I'm out. Peace.